to the Thursday, July 22nd, 2021 meeting of the Capital Investment Committee. We'll have the call to order, and Alderman Blanton.
Here.
Alderman Berger.
Here.
Alderman McClendon. Alderman Martin here. We'll have a consideration of the minutes of the May 27th, 2021 Capital Investment Committee meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
Move for approval.
Second.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes, ma'am.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman McClendon. Alderman Martin. Yes. Thank you. Consider item number 2, consideration of Amendment 1 to City of Franklin Contract number 2020-0140 with Revere Control Systems, system coverage for SCADA improvements. Michelle.
So this is, in 2018, if you remember, we completed the upgrades to the collection and distribution system SCADA. And so this is just a continuation of the maintenance contract that we have with Revere, who was the integrator during that time. So this is budgeted in the collections and distribution system annual budget that we have. This is their allotment for fiscal year 22.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right.
This thing keep-
Do you want to ask something,
No.
Beth?
Well, I'm trying to read something on here, but the voting thing still keeps coming up and blocking me. So I can't even see one of my notes on here. Oh, there it went off. So I've never had that before. I just wanted to look at that cost again. I had looked at it earlier.
So we, so all of the work that's done, that would be done for this contract is, we issue almost like a work order. It's started, initiated by us, so it's either, emergency telemetry, questions that we have, assistance that we need after hours, routine maintenance visits to kind of calibrate some of the equipment.
After hours, okay. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Alderman Blanton.
Yes, ma'am.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman McClendon. Alderman Martin, yes. Item 3. Just a minute.
I may have voted for the 3 times now.
This thing has got to go off.
All right, item 3. Consideration of Resolution 2021-107, a resolution authorizing the City of Franklin to provide sanitary sewer services to Breckenridge South Lot 4, map 079L, parcel 00400 at 4022 Clovercroft Road. Michelle.
So this availability was approved back in April at the April BOMA meeting, and it's just for one SFUE. This is a resolution that's authorizing the city administrator to enter into the agreements for annexation and availability.
Is that in the city, it's outside the city limits?
It is, yes.
Do we have a
I
map for that?
No,
Do we have a
no,
map for that?
it's always
You
on
know,
map.
we really need maps for these lots.
Okay.
Because we always want, at least I always want to know
I'd like to
where
know.
the lots are and where they're situated in an area.
Okay, so this one is not the this is just the resolution. You've already approved the availability.
I don't know how I vote yes when I haven't even seen it.
Well, then why are we talking about it?
So
If we've already approved it?
you've already approved the availability. This is the resolution to allow Eric to enter into the annexation agreement. So to sign the actual agreement saying that they can be
Okay,
annexed when the city.
I'd like to know, is Breckenridge part of an area that is already annexed?
It is not.
No,
See-
all of it isn't.
Is any of it annexed?
No. Breckenridge is not,
No.
because you're.
That's the reason I'd like to see
So it-
maps, you know.
okay, so it-
even
yeah.
when it comes for us, even, I've forgotten what we did in April.
Okay.
And
Well-
so, next time I would like to see that. All right, what did you want to say, Dave?
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, it's right next to Ward 1. It just butts up to the hospital, well, actually to Liberty. The back end of Breckenridge butts up to Liberty Pike, which
Right.
does have sewer, which is the city. So I was just saying, it's on 96, it's your, you know where, Fountains of Franklin is located?
Yes.
Okay, on the way out there, before you get there, Breckenridge is on the left.
Oh, I know where Breckenridge
Oh, you do?
is.
Okay.
Oh, I know
So,
exactly where it
but
is.
all of
I
that-
simply want to know
All
why
that.
we're doing one lot in Breckenridge.
Well, there's actually, so 3 and 4, it's 3 and 4 is 4022 and 4024.
Well, 3 and, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So those are the two lots that have applied as of now. We're actually working with a couple other owners in that in that subdivision along Clovercroft too for availability, but theirs is just coming in a little bit different times. It's a little bit of a different design to get to those.
I just think all of this, one at a time, is just kind of
State law.
useless. I think we ought to look at the whole thing. If they're coming in one at a time, 1 this month, 2 next month, 3 the next month, why don't we just go on and annex it? They're gonna have to request annexation. They're gonna have to request it.
This sets it up so that they will annex at the city's requirement.
Well,
And this
why
is
does,
what you have done in previous situations where somebody wants service. It makes sense to provide the service, but annexation will be triggered maybe at a later date based on the city's determination.
well,
So
why does,
this has the property owner agree to the annexation in
Yes,
advance.
I understand
At
that.
the city's determination.
I understand that. Why doesn't the city determine it?
Well, you're gonna determine that based on service needs and other ability to provide the other services and what may make sense with other properties around it, so that we do it in a more, complete, or you can kind of meet
Okay,
the scale of fuller annexation.
Okay, I just think this piecemeal thing is kind of
Well, we
useless.
respond to the requests we get. We can't do it on our own. We
I
have to work with
understand that.
property owners.
But
So
they sign an agreement.
this
to
is
come into the city.
establishing that agreement.
Yeah,
That's what we're asking you to approve.
Margaret.
I understand,
Of course.
yes.
Here's how I see this. We're gonna get these all the time because we have a state law that doesn't allow us to do the right thing when we need to do it. Like Highgate, when somebody was losing their septic field, we had 2 houses, gonna lose their houses. So we annexed them all in. Today, it would be a tough thing. You'd have to get at least 51% of those people. And at that time, I think we only had 2 homeowners. The problem with Breckenridge, Margaret, some of these people, because of the, I'll watch my words carefully, overbearing regulations sometimes, with the people in the county to add on to their home and to just add a bedroom and maybe not even add a bathroom, but yet you have to have 2 more fields, septic fields, that perk in order to even add a bedroom. Some people are having children, they need an extra bedroom. They have an in-law that comes and lives with them and they need to add on and their hands are tied. So if they have the sewer, they can do so.
Of course.
And I want to help these people be able to live in their homes with their, this is the biggest investment they've made in their life, probably. So, as Eric said, you know, these people, if we give them the sewer, they do sign and say, at our request, they will annex in. But it makes no sense in Breckenridge, I don't know how many homes there are there, 50, 60 homes maybe, or less?
Less, I
yeah.
would
So
say.
to annex in 1 home and then 1 other home, you would have our city services running down that entire subdivision to do trash and pickup, fire and police. Oh, we only can respond to this home and that home, but everybody else doesn't get responded to because they're not in the city. So I have a problem. So I don't think it would behoove us as a city to annex them in unless we had multiple requests and maybe 51% of that neighborhood said, hey, we want to be annexed in, and then that would make more sense. Either that or we're scattered all over the place with, hey, we have 2 homes out of 50 or 3 homes out of 50 maybe that are in the city, and that to me makes no sense. But if they need the sewer to add on to their home or to, you know, have a new baby and they add on a bedroom or they have an in-law coming, I'm all for helping them do that when the sewer's available. And
Okay,
it is available and it's right there.
Correct.
But as I understand, this gives Eric the ability to say when it's time.
Yeah.
So he can
Well,
fill up his.
I enter into the agreement that has them commit to the annexation in the future at the city's determination. The board will make that call, okay? But this just allows us to have that kind of on the record that those property owners have made that commitment at the city's, when the city makes
That's
that,
right.
that
And does that
determination.
carry over to any new owner after the fact?
It is.
It does. We require them to file
Perpetuity.
that
It's recorded on the
with the
deed.
county. Yep.
I'll make a motion to
I
approve.
think the mayor had a question.
Yeah. My question was Michelle, do they have a failing septic system, or are they adding on to their house? Like 3 and 4, why are they doing it?
This, I believe they're doing additions. I don't want to speak to that. I'd have to go back and look at the memo.
What might be better too is in the future, you've already approved this. This is us coming back through. If we can more globally, when you approve the access to the system, just include this up front or grant the authority up front. That way we're not doing it twice and struggling
Makes
to
no
remember what
sense
we
to do it
approved
twice.
4 months ago and why. This is really just kind of a completion of a commitment we've already made. And this is kind of a standardized language that provides that ability to basically inform future owners and maintain the ability for the city at its determination to bring the property into the city as an annexed property.
And I understand everything you're saying, and it makes sense. And I know that this is language that we use. Forget Breckenridge. Give it another name, any other name around the county. When they want to come in, when they want to add on to the room, every time they want to have a granny flat, or every time they want to add a bedroom, and they come in and want to get on the sewer, and we give them sewer, and then down the road, and somebody else comes. Are we just going to give everybody sewer that wants it just because they want to add on to their room, their house? Or are we going to ask them, are we maybe going to deny that until the subdivision comes in? It just seems that we're going to have a Breckenridge full of add-ons that we're not going to have them in the city. And I don't know when the time is that we're going to ask for them to
You're gonna have them in the
come
city when the city wants to annex them.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
When?
I guess, the agreement provides for what you just described that you want to do, the ability to annex the property. It doesn't make sense for the city right now to annex it, because annexing is not just providing sewer, it's providing all the other services. So, we may not be in a position where that makes sense for us to do at this point, but likely will at some point in the future. So you're providing this extension of service in our service area. It can be served, and it provides a benefit to that property owner, who then pays a premium for that sewer service, higher than a residential rate, in city residential rate. And then, when the time is right for the city, when it makes sense for us, then we can move forward with bringing them in.
Just get ready for some more applications. You're
So when
gonna get 'em.
so kind of as the water department, when we look at these availabilities, we actually look at what makes sense to design a system. So, for Breckenridge, we looked at how we can extend that sewer down, what size the main would have to be to extend it all the way down Clovercroft or to get the rest of the subdivision. So when we approve them and we have a plan, the plan is intended to have all these other properties extend. So while it's approved piecemeal, we've thought about the decision about how to bring all of the other homes that make sense onto it, to design it as an asset that we would want in our
And that
system.
includes Franklin Christian Church that was up the block, and we gave them
That's already
sewer.
been- yep.
Yeah, and they will annex in as well. They have-
When
they have an agreement
we
with
deem
us.
appropriate, yeah.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second,
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
yes.
Alderman McClendon. Alderman Martin, yes. All right, number 4, yes, it is 4, isn't it?
Number 4 is the
Same thing.
adjacent property
Lot
owner.
3, same thing.
Move for approval.
Second,
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman McClendon. Alderman Martin, yes.
May I say, again, we need maps.
Yes.
Okay.
What?
There's no map here either.
up here. Scroll up here.
Um,
You want to look at it?
yes, I'd like maps,
Do
please.
you want to see it?
Number 5, consideration of Resolution 2021-127, a resolution authorizing the City of Franklin to provide sanitary sewer services to 1256 Lewisburg Pike, map 106, parcels 00903, contingent upon all conditions presented herein.
So this is on Lewisburg Pike, north of, on the west side of Lewisburg Pike, north of the new school that's there. I can't remember its name now. It just escaped me. The new preschool
Legacy.
that's
Moore
there.
Elementary?
No.
Oh,
Moore Ele-
Ivy something.
Ivy League, yeah.
Oh.
So that property that's kind of on the west side, north of the old Henpeck Market.
Okay.
We recently, or actually, you had already approved this resolution. The homeowner sold the house before we could get the resolution signed, or the agreement signed. So that made that null and void, because we referenced the homeowner in the resolution. So you've already approved this availability. The homeowner actually has sewer right now. We're just trying to make it whole with the annexation agreement and the sewer availability.
Okay. Is there a motion
Move for
to
approval.
approve?
Second,
Alderman Blanton,
yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman McClendon, Alderman Martin, yes.
If
All right.
anybody wants to see that map, I've got it, if you need to see that
Thank you.
past one.
I looked it up too.
Item 6,
It's easy.
consideration to grant sewer availability for an unaddressed property, map 105, parcel 02802, west of Lewisburg Pike, south of the proposed Tuckaway subdivision.
There's a map here.
So this is, there should be a map in there for this one. So this is the owner is requesting 4 SFUEs. They're going to develop this lot into 4 homes. This is contiguous to the city limits, but as you see, it's kind of an island right in the middle of those two, on the north and south. The Tuckaway subdivision is on the north. They're running the sewer main from the Henpeck main that was just constructed north to their subdivision. It passes through this parcel, so it just makes sense for this to connect. We're recommending approval with the same contingencies based on the execution of an annexation and availability agreement. And then I think Greg wanted to talk on this one as well.
Thank you. My name is Greg Gamble. I'm representing the applicant, Mr. Robertson, and his wife. And they have 20 acres of property. They would like to subdivide this land into 4 5-acre lots. The sewer line from Tuckaway Farms would be going through this property. They have no objection to signing an agreement to be annexed into the city once sewer is provided. However, if the city decides it wants to or can annex this property and the adjacent properties before sewer service is provided, he would like to make sure that how do you say that? That what he's signing doesn't obligate him to be annexed in if services are not provided.
Sure.
Understood.
I don't exactly know how to write that,
Yeah.
and maybe that's something that y'all could help with, but that was his request, and I'm here to voice that tonight. Thank you.
Move for approval.
Second.
I'd like to talk about this a little bit, Greg. What is on the east and west of this property?
I did bring maps. Would you like a copy,
Yeah. I would.
Michelle?
Yes.
This one, I'm saying,
Sure.
that's Boma. Is that south of Bowman Road, Greg?
Thank you.
Good. Thanks. South of Bowman Road, right?
So just to the north of the property is Tuckaway Farms. To the south of the property is the new middle school. And then you have the 2 residential neighborhoods to the east and the west. This property does not, well, it has road access to Williamson County roads through those neighborhoods. If you look on page 2, you will see the sewer line that will be going from Tuckaway down to the Legacy Middle School manhole. So that's how Tuckaway Sewer will access that manhole right on Henpeck. And so you also see here the 4 5-acre lots. They would all be accessed from the neighborhood that's just to the east, that's in the county. It's a county neighborhood.
All right, is that Durham Manor on the west?
Yes, on the west is Durham. I cannot remember the name of the
And
one.
the
on
other
east.
one is, what is that, Brandy?
It's Shannon Adams neighborhood. It is Douglas Glen.
Douglas Glen.
Yeah.
What,
That was pulling it out of me.
what is it?
Douglas Glen.
Douglas Glen, yeah, sure. That's, because that's old Douglas house on that property. Okay.
Yes.
All right, have either of those, do we have sewer in either of those subdivisions?
No, ma'am, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And they are both in the county?
Yes, ma'am, they're both county subdivisions.
Surely we would not annex that in the middle of both of those county properties?
Only in the event maybe that sewer systems started to fail, but they're in pretty good shape right now.
Well, and they're gonna be 5-acre lots, and they don't wanna be annexed until the service is provided.
They don't want to be annexed until you annex this whole area.
Okay, I'm just wondering, all right, the lots that are adjacent to that property, to those 5-acre lots, if those 5-acre lots all have sewer, will those lots next door, adjacent to that on both sides, would they come in and want sewer also?
We don't know.
I don't know.
So those, the subdivision to the east is actually part of the, that Red Wing study that we're doing, that you kind of authorized in a different contract in the previous CIC. Where we have a consultant that's looking at taking all of Red Wing and Ellington Farms right there and kind of designing a more holistic approach for a sewer. At your recommendation, rather than having these onesie-twosies kind of here and there. And we've actually kind of taken all of those properties that are kind of adjacent to Lewisburg Pike on the west side and have merged those in as well, because it kind of just, the contours kind of make sense.
Okay.
And
But
this-
going to the west, I'm sorry, Greg, but going to the west of that, we haven't looked at those.
This is the valley through here. Everything gravity flows to this line. So after meeting with the city water and sewer department, it was determined this is the best location for the future sewer access.
Okay. All
And
right.
Tuckaway has already been annexed.
Yeah.
What?
Tuckaway PUD, or Tuckaway is
Oh, yeah,
already
I know
annexed.
that.
So it's
No, I'm talking
contiguous.
about these two right here. They're the
Understood.
ones I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
So from the north, though, it's contiguous. to
I'm
the-
just saying, if that is, if we sewer that 20 acres or whatever it is, do those lots say, well, you've got sewer right next door to us, can we have it too?
Well, there's sewer that we just talked about in the previous item, right here. And right here, and right here, and right here. So it's coming down the pike. It's up to those homeowners when they want to do that. I mean, in my opinion, City
So
of
would we-
Franklin's gonna be annexed all the way from Berry Farms to MacHatcher eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's
Yeah.
become this snowball that's starting to gain speed. So, I think with Tuckaway already being annexed into the city, that's the path of least resistance when it's right there available. And the great thing is whomever this person is that's doing the 4 or 5 acre lots is platting it as 5-acre lots. So that's showing their intent to be amenable to the surrounding 2 neighborhoods. So they're not gonna be the ones that flip the switch, or they wouldn't have platted it as 5-acre lots like the county dictates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That sounded really impressive of me.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right, do we have a motion, or
Move for
do we
approval.
already have it?
I don't remember.
I think we already have it.
Yes.
We have a motion and
Yeah.
a second.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes, ma'am.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman McClendon. Alderman Martin. Yes. All right, item 7. Consideration to grant sewer availability for 455 Franklin Road, map 053, parcel 02400.
So this is, this area is actually, this parcel is actually right outside of the city limits as well, contiguous to some other properties. They're requesting one SFUE, and we actually designed a low-pressure system, or helped the developer to design a low-pressure system to capture from these homes all the way down to, I think that's Southbury Chapels Road. So to capture so this home that's connecting into that subdivision on the east side of Franklin Road, Jordan Lake, coming all the way down would be a low-pressure system. So those are going to be connecting, one at a time as well. But the system has been designed to accommodate all of those homes. So this is just an extension of that system.
You're talking about Jackson Lake?
Jackson Lake, I'm sorry,
Is it?
yes.
In the east
The
side?
wrong J.
Okay, so that, I know it's a J, but that would tie in.
That's the subdivision they're going to tie into with the low-pressure
Oh,
system.
yeah.
There's a manhole that's directly to the east of Franklin Road. So this low pressure is going to
Yeah.
extend, south along Franklin Road on the west side, and then a little bit north of Franklin Road on the west side.
I move for approval.
Second.
All right, proper motion and second. Any questions? Mayor, do you have any questions?
Are they expanding the house or? Adding onto the house or failing system?
I think this one is a failing system. I pulled it up right here. I can double check.
Could be.
Actually, it doesn't say in here. I think this one is a failing system. I can provide that information.
Does anybody else along that corridor over there have sewer?
Yeah, so if you want to pull up the map, I can't, we don't have a joint one to see.
To the north.
If you pull up that map that's attached to the item, you can see that there's two parcels right to the north of the red outline parcel that have already connected onto the low-pressure system that was designed. That green is the existing gravity main through Jackson Lake that we're going to connect the low-pressure system to underneath, that's bored underneath Franklin Road.
Okay,
And so this availability would be granted based upon, contingent upon execution of an annexation agreement, when we deem, when the city deems it's necessary.
And Highgate's there too, right there to the north,
Yes.
and they have sewer.
okay.
Boy, do they have sewer.
Any other questions? All right, we've got a motion and a second. Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
Alderman Berger?
Yes.
Alderman McClendon? Alderman Martin? Yes. All right, item 8. Consideration to deny sewer availability for 4271 Columbia Pike, map 118, parcel 00500, 1546 West Harpeth Road, map 118, parcel 00700, and an unaddressed property adjacent to the aforementioned properties, map 118, parcel 00702. Good gracious.
So these are all within the county, and they are several miles away from any existing infrastructure. They're several miles away from the city limits at this point in time. The applicant is requesting denial. We're recommending denial. It's just not feasible for them to extend the system at this length.
Absolutely. Motion to deny, or motion to approve the denial.
Second.
Okay. Why do they want sewer availability?
They don't.
They don't.
Oh, they don't.
It's a
They're
denial.
asking us to deny it.
They want us to deny.
Correct.
Okay. All right, okay, we have a motion and a second. Alderman Blanton?
Yes, ma'am.
Alderman Berger?
Yes.
Alderman McClendon? Alderman Martin, yes.
I'm going to let Paul talk now.
Item whatever. Consideration, number 9, consideration of draft ordinance 2021-31, an ordinance to restrict parking on Garden Club Court from Oxford Glen Drive to Conservatory Drive.
So this should be a pretty simple one. This is really old McEwen, now it's named Garden Club Court. The HOA is requesting the no parking, and we've had all 5 adjacent property owners have signed off on it. And really what's happening is people are parking in the grass area and rutting it up, and they don't want people parking there. So with the HOA support and all 5 residents, we're recommending approval.
They
What are they
came to me-
parking there for, to go where?
I have no idea, but they're rutting
Yeah,
it up. and
why are
people-
they
Wait a minute,
parking?
what did you say?
Why are they
Randy?
parking
Why are they
there?
parking there?
Oh, let me tell you, this is my ward. I deal with this all the time. So, and it's a reasonable request. Garden Club Court is a dead end. It used to be the old McEwen. And a lot of the trucks that come in here to work in the area park there. And we have we have every truck under the sun. Now, there's room for them to pull up. If you're going down Oxford Glen, right there, before you get to the roundabout, there's room for them to pull off on the side property right there on Oxford Glen. And we've had a lot of construction, different things going on in the area, especially with the roundabout. And they bring up these heavy trucks, and then they get in there, and they make more ruts, and they have issues with it, and it's all behind those homes. So they've asked, could we possibly just have no parking over there? And once in a blue moon, people really do need to park over there, but if you go across, if you look at your map, go across the street where you can't see it on the left side, where the red line is, just go straight across on the left. On that side is a dead end in front of Mr. Lancaster's place, and there's plenty of parking on that old McEwen side of that road. So there is parking availability for these trucks, and it's just making a mess out of that area. So they've requested that. As you said, all property owners to sign off on it, and the HOA has requested it.
So it's mostly trucks?
A lot
that
of
park.
trucks, a lot of people working, you know, if they work in the roundabout, if they work, there's other places to park. That's not the only place. And then people have a problem, you know, getting in and out of the street, the trucks all over. And I'm not sure there will be that much going on until Mr. Parks develops that property, where you see the map, it says proposed no parking zone where the words are. That whole piece of property between the Garden Club Court and McEwen will be developed at some point in the near future. And so once that's done, they'll be putting sidewalks in there as well, on at least on the north side.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
Alderman McClendon, Alderman Martin, yes.
Can I ask a question? How many signs are you gonna put up over there? They asked for 3. I thought that was a little much, but
That seems like a lot. I'd have to get with Adam and see.
I thought
It'd
2
probably
would-
be 2.
I thought 2 would do it.
That's what I would
You
say
know
too.
me,
But we,
like sign pollution all day long.
yeah, I'd say between 2 and 3.
All
3
right,
seems
thanks.
overkill.
Thanks.
though.
Just look into that.
I will.
All right, item 10.
So I guess I'll just give you a brief update on the capital projects, and if there's questions, feel free to ask. So on McEwen Phase 4, there's 19 tracks, 15 offers have been made. There's 4 tracks that the offers should have been made, but they hadn't because properties transferred ownership or something ended up delaying the
Sold.
process where we had to go back and get reappraisals done. And I know that we've actually closed 3, so that's exciting. And there's 2 others ready to be closed. And a lot of times they're just waiting on banks to release liens and working with the closing attorney. So it seems to be going really well. We keep pushing hard. I'll say Jordan Road, the other project I'd update you on is we have made all offers on that project. So that's another exciting one. Hopefully in the next 6 months, we can have the majority of those settled and moved on to condemnation. But we continue to push hard on all of our capital projects and happy to answer any questions that you have.
So you brought up Jordan Road. May I, Margaret? May I ask a question? So Mendel and I were leaving the other day, North Italia or whatever, and so so Jordan Road from Liberty Pike is a dead end, and it's a dead end from what is the long-term, I guess, plan for that whole portion of Jordan Road? It will never be a through street again, correct?
Correct. I don't know that I mean, there's benefits to providing the connectivity, and there's pros and cons both ways. I don't know that we have any major plans other than to keep it as a pedestrian path
Okay, that's
through
what I
that area,
said.
unless residents or development starts to request otherwise, we could obviously revisit that.
So if you're leaving McEwen North, going north, and you get to Jordan Road to take a left, it's not blocked there, but it doesn't go anywhere.
You're talking about all the way down towards, before you get to Liberty, right? Where it
Yeah, well,
stops.
there's another crossover there before you get to Liberty. It's where the Kawasaki used to be, or the motorcycle
Yeah, but you
place.
go on down further.
Yeah,
In fact,
It's McEwen.
in
It has
fact-
emergency gates right now between
Well-
McEwen and Liberty Pike.
Hello, I just remembered, I missed that meeting. 1:30 at the gate.
And I think we have a good solution for it.
Oh.
We're having problems with people driving around the emergency gates right now and parking in
Okay.
front of
I hope they
residential
met there.
driveways.
Did you meet there?
No, but I know the street department employees that were, and they already had a solution. They didn't even need me. So,
Okay, I was just curious because I had said I think it's just gonna be a pedestrian path, but it really would bring some great connectivity. If you consider the horrible, those people who live on the very last subdivision on Liberty before you get to MacHatcher, they can't go left there. They can only go right and hit MacHatcher. But like Winthrop Way,
Winthrop Way.
where it's dead into there,
Right.
it would be nice if they could get through
Yeah.
there.
And if
I
they
don't
got-
understand why we
See,
closed it, I guess.
I'm with
Well,
you on that.
I think
because-
There
part of
was a
the-
reason.
Yeah.
I know.
There was a
can-
reason to
Not
close
good
it.
enough reason, though, I don't think.
But it was before my
These days.
time.
it was before my time. I imagine it has something to do with the dangerous access point at Liberty and the volume of traffic there. And so this significantly reduced it, which made it safer. And I believe also with all the commercial development in the residential subdivisions was probably another reason.
But if you went down there and you opened up Jordan and you
It just to
had a
McEwen.
right-hand turn only, you could at least get out on, see, the safe thing would be to go down Jordan, take a right-hand turn and then a right, then you could either go straight down Liberty, you could take a left on, MacHatcher, you could take a right on MacHatcher. But you certainly wouldn't want to go down Jordan and take a left, that would be restricted, because you couldn't do that.
But the traffic through there was so bad, and the speeding was so bad.
Oh,
There were several
everywhere.
fatal accidents, I think.
Yeah.
Well, before MacHatcher was built, that was my like skip school road. I would drive Jordan Road, I would, because it was like an old country road.
It was then.
That and Del Rio,
When
those
I
were the
drove
roads
too.
to drive when you
Well,
skip school.
And I'll tell you, there's some property, if you're going down Jordan Road, before you hit the gates, if you, left is Winthrop Court, and right is the Davis property and some other property there that's past the Artesa apartment. All that land, these people want to sell their land, and they propose single-family homes, they propose townhomes in there. And they really would like to sell their land, and it's a nice secluded area back in there, and it would be a great addition with Winthrop Court, having the single-family homes. You could have some residential, for sale residential back there, and it'd be a nice little tuckaway. But you can't do that and then bring everybody out on Jordan on McEwen. You really need that open. And if nothing else, you could have it open just to go down to MacHatcher and take that right. And connectivity is so important, especially for, our services to get there.
I just was curious. I mean, I'd love for us to look at it, but
I would too.
it's not like, nobody's
too.
requested it. It doesn't really affect me. It's just
Mm-hmm. It would take a lot of-
curiosity.
It would take a lot of public input to visit. this.
Understood.
Oh, lots of public.
And the section that we're
Lots of-
improving, just for those at home, is really the section between Aspen Grove
Yeah,
and Mallory.
off of Mallory.
Got it.
Okay.
And one other thing about that, so we're improving Jordan from Mallory down to Aspen Grove, but that's another thing. I always thought it made no sense to stop it there. It should go on through to McEwen. And that's a pedestrian path. And I don't know if we have enough property there to put the road through, but again,
Well, that was my
logic
initial
tells
question.
me, it
Yeah.
is good connectivity.
I don't know the history behind that. I tend to agree with you. I do know that a lot of that right-of-way is abandoned at this point.
I know, and
Well, now we've lost all the impact fees too for a project that was never on the books to contribute to.
but
I would imagine, because
it's
those
not very,
are,
it's not a very long strip there for the pedestrian path, and it just makes sense. If we're talking about trying to mitigate traffic in our town, we need to be smarter about and more committed to connectivity, and those things make sense to me. I mean, Ken talks to me all the time, he says, Bev, you're trying to be too logical. You have to, be logical. I go, yeah, absolutely, this makes sense to me. So, anyway, I'd like to look into that.
I would like to look into it too with the residents who live there, and I promise you they'll oppose it.
Which one?
They live up there on Jordan Road.
Well,
Alderman
there are no
Burgers.
residents on that road,
Well,
on
The-
between
the-
Mallory
the,
by
off
St.
off Jordan.
Alderman
There's two
Burgers,
sections.
speaking
All right,
of
the
Aspen Grove
reason
to West
to-
I'm talking
McEwen.
about Aspen
The
Grove.
reason to not open Jordan is what I'm saying.
To Liberty? To
li-
Liberty?
mhm.
I'm not talking about that stretch. I'm talking about the ones, you know where Sam's Club is?
Yeah.
On Mallory, talking about from that Jordan Road, past, north side McEwen. So there's no residence along that road at all. It's commercial and it's office strictly. And then it would go through Dwell.
Okay.
That would be the only residential.
All right, anything else? Any other
Yeah.
business?
no, ma'am.
Any other projects that we,
I'm happy to answer any questions you
Sure.
have.
You have anything else, Beth?
any other in my ward that I'm missing? I'm just,
What about the bids on Harlinsdale Barn?
I know it's still in the design process, and it's getting ready to go through the department review team, but we've not had a chance to advertise for bids. So it's one of the projects we're still focusing in on. The Franklin Special School District Ball Fields project, we're having the pre-con tomorrow on. And so I know we're working hard on Harlinsdale and Bicentennial and Southeast Park all together.
When will the shovel be in the ground for the barn?
I'll have to get back to you. I don't have that off the top of my head. I apologize.
What about the Harlansdale Bridge across to Chestnut?
The design is 100% complete for that project. Unfortunately, it's just about going through the federal process and checking all the boxes. So we're still in the environmental phase at the very, very end of it. And once we get that clearance, it should move very, very quickly because the design is done. There is no right-of-way acquisition. So that it's essentially ready to go, except for getting approvals for TDOT.
Where are we on the open date for Mac Hatcher? Still September?
I hear that.
I heard November,
generally,
then I heard
November
September.
is the contract date.
Yeah,
We
usually-
hear that they're running ahead of time, but we don't have
Yeah.
a specific date.
correct.
how about number 11? How about Liberty Mallory intersection improvements? Where are we on that?
Oh,
What's
please wait
happening?
till I move. I'm gonna be out of there in a couple of years.
Well, you'll be gone before they probably start.
So right
Good.
now, the right-of-way plans are essentially done. However, we're still working through a lot of the utility relocations and looking at the impacts that we're having to residents and trying to figure out how to minimize that. And as soon as we have that process figured out, we will bring that project back to the board for a presentation and then have to go out and engage the neighborhoods.
Okay, so the impact while it's being built.
The impact while it's being built and the footprint of the job of
Yeah.
the impact that
Okay.
it
Yeah.
ultimately has on some of the residential properties. And it's like you'd expect, the roundabouts have a pretty big impact, but between the roundabouts, it's significantly less, which is part of the pros and cons associated with going the roundabout.
Trust me, I went through 4 or 5 of them in Ireland, boom, 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 and I'm like, that can't even be a block long. You know, it was, about that same distance, or even less. Works for him. All right, thanks. I don't have anything else.
Anything else, Beth?
No,
All right, I happened to see
thank you.
a sign that said slow on West Main at 11th Avenue. Surely that's not for the bridge.
Fortunately, it is not for the bridge. We are making offers on the West Main Bridge, and I just got done saying that was one of my 6 months goals was to get all those, work with our team to get all those offers out and hopefully settle the right-of-way. So we're still in the right-of-way acquisition phase of that.
You think it'll be done before October?
I'm hoping in the next 6 months to have the offers out and the next year to be settled on everything. I'm trying
We'll bring
hard
you
though.
back to cut a ribbon.
What?
We'll bring you back to cut a ribbon.
Oh dear, I'll wave some flags. Okay. Any other business?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. That'll work. That'll work.